welcome back to the Standard Podcast. I am Pastor Kels. You can just call me PK. And I'm joined by my best friend in the whole world, Rara.
Hey, boo.
Hey, bestie. So let's give a little introduction for those who may be tuning in for the first time. The Standard Podcast is for the woman who did not plan to be a disruptor, but life left her with no option. So what is a disruptor? A woman who disrupts is one who intentionally challenges systems, mindsets, and patterns that keep people, organizations, or cultures stuck while introducing a new, higher standard of truth, order, or possibility. So basically, on this podcast, we are talking to the woman who refuses to die in dysfunction. So we're going to point out some stuff, we're going to address some stuff, and we're just going to roll with it. You ready, bestie? So I have an interesting topic for us today.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how much you've dealt with this, but your girl has dealt with this a lot. You know, living my life publicly for the last 9 years, I guess I could say, since 2016.
Yeah.
It's been a ride.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk more about that also in another segment, but we're calling this the Undercover Hater.
Ooh.
But the thing about an undercover hater is you may not really know they are a hater at first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why it's called undercover. That's how people get caught up with undercover cops. Because they
Right.
didn't know they were the police, or they didn't know you were actually not on my team.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So let's dig more into this today. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, but you've seen some of the things that I've had to go through. And you've had to curse quite a few people out.
I have.
And so, what do you do when the love is fake, but the envy is real? When the love is fake, but the envy is real.
It's one of the worst feelings ever, you know?
Yeah.
Someone that you let get in your circle, someone that you let really get close to you, someone that you trusted,
Yeah.
and then for you to find out that they was just there to gather what they can gather.
Oh, like detectives. They were
Yeah.
doing it. You were like a research report, research study.
Yeah.
So crazy enough, 2 incidents come to mind, like right off the top for me.
Okay.
And one of these you remember, you know about. When I think about an undercover hater, and I don't know if they were necessarily an undercover hater, but it was definitely a sign that the relationship was not healthy.
Okay.
So years ago, we had a mutual friend, and she and I were actually very, very close, and y'all were pretty close too. And we had been friends for many, many, many years. And then I found out one day that she had gotten a cell phone in my name for a family member of hers.
Okay.
And I know that sounds like simple, but I didn't understand how somebody who says they're my sister, like close enough to be my sister, back then it was Cellular South. Remember this phone company? This was,
Cellular South.
gosh,
That's a
this
long
was,
time
girl,
ago.
probably 20 years ago. But I still remember.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand, and I didn't find out that she did it, I think, until the bill was not paid and it got on my credit report as a charge off.
Got it.
So that's how I found out. Like, so you went as me, because back then, you know, things weren't as strict as they are now.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
added a phone line, and then you got a phone for another relative. And we recovered from that, but I just never forgot that. And then, you know what? Years later, she really showed out. If you remember, like, was doing this whole thing about me on social media, dragging my organization, saying all types of things. But if I trace it back to the cell phone incident that happened about 20 years ago, I wonder, should I have followed that unction in my spirit then to just terminate that relationship? And then I had another person. She was an older lady, but I was really close to her. And we used to talk all the time. I used to do for her all the time. She used to keep my kids. And she was really almost like, I guess, like an auntie to me or whatever. And then one day I got an email from Verizon saying that I had made a change to my account. And the change was she had gone in and purchased a new cell phone
Oh, wow.
and put it on my account. I was already paying her phone bill. And I would have given her anything.
You would have got that for her.
And she's apologized since then. But I guess the thing was like, and this is crazy that I'm just using cell phone examples, but I think what I'm trying to point out is sometimes you think people are for you, but they're not, because if you're really for me, your actions will
speak.
Right. So why would you go into the store? And of course she's apologized and I've forgiven her, but I never
Forget it.
I never got back in her circle after that because, I'd already been burned by my other person years ago. And even though I forgave her, forgiveness does not mean necessarily reconciliation or that you get back into my space, because I used to give her money all the time. I used to help her with her bills all the time. I mean, I was paying her cell phone bill. And then she went up in the store. So she ended up returning the phone, but it didn't fix the relationship.
Right.
Because, I would never go into a store and use your information to get myself something, knowing, number one, if I can't ask you and receive it that way, I don't want it.
Right.
But so what's up with that? Like, why would somebody even do that? And then when you're a kind and giving person, like if I wanted something.
There you go right there.
What? So people do what?
You're a kind, you're a giving person, and she thought you weren't going to miss it.
And normally I wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
So just because you didn't think I would notice, you would do it. So that's not necessarily an undercover hater, but I am going to get to a point about, have you ever felt like, you were hugged by somebody that really didn't have the best intentions for you?
Right.
So that's one of the ways in which you can look at the definition of an undercover hater, somebody who's pretending to be for you, but they really are against you, or their support seems more like sarcasm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, and I was telling you right before we started, there was one time the young lady was working for me at the time, and I gave her my address to bring me something to the house. And she drove through the neighborhood. And when she got to my house, which was the house I had before this house in the same neighborhood, she said, "Oh, your house was not the biggest house in the neighborhood."
As if.
And I was like, first of all, you don't even, in my mind, I'm like, first of all, you don't even have a house.
Right.
Nor do you live by yourself. You live with a relative. So what was it in your mind that would automatically make you compare where I live to the other houses in my neighborhood? You were coming as an employee to pick up something. So why would a person come to my house just to tell me my house was not the biggest one in the neighborhood? Number one, like I didn't know that already. But number two, what difference does it make?
Exactly.
So are you just being, like, what is that even?
I think it bothered her that you were living in a nice home and she wasn't. So to make herself feel better, she had to downplay your home to make herself feel better.
So it was an inward battle.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with me.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So you don't feel like you really had any experience with fake friends?
If I have, and the only reason why I'm saying, I'm quite sure I had, but friends, I take that very seriously.
Yeah. Well, let's just say people.
Okay, people, maybe, fake people. But because I was like, friends, the majority of my friends been
A lot, like 20 years plus.
20 years plus. So that's why I was like, probably not friends. I've had coworkers whom you had to remember back when I was like charging and pre-admission teaching and testing. I had this one coworker.
We're in nursing, guys, because they don't know. Basically, they don't know what that means if they're not in nursing.
It's just a department that before
I
you
was
have
charging
seizures
and pre-admission and testing.
A department that you go into prior to having surgery, things like that. They tell you the do's and don'ts before surgery, things like that, see if you're approved for surgery, things like that. When I was charging, this particular coworker was telling like our part-time staff or our PRN staff that I'm the reason that they wasn't getting hours.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
But I was not the one who called those shots, because as far as I'm concerned, everybody can come get this money, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And so one of the employees that she was telling it to was really angry at me, and she was really mad at me.
Why?
Because she believed her that I was the reason why she couldn't get her hours.
Oh.
I literally was taking other clients or patients from other nurses just to build her patients for the day.
And she thought you were doing the opposite.
And she thought I was the one was making sure she wasn't getting in there. And so it took another employee to tell her, it's not her. She's like, you realize the reason why you're here on the days you are here is because she's taking some of our patients away from us just so you can get in here. But she was angry with me for a long time before she found out that it wasn't me.
So she had made up in her mind. So you're telling me that sometimes people can be an undercover hater based off of something that they've made up completely that's not even for real?
That someone else made up completely that wasn't real. That she believed, and she literally believed that person.
Did she ask you?
She never asked me. It's just when she told the other employee and the other employee came to tell me, she was like, but I tried to explain to her over and over and over and over that you're not the one. So she eventually, after I no longer worked in that department anymore and she moved on, we eventually talked and she called me. She was like, yeah, I had a lot of questions about nurse practitioner school, but I just didn't want to come to you because I was hearing so many things about why I wasn't working as a nurse under you. And I was like, well, you know, and then she said, I said, girl, I was making patients for you.
Jesus.
And I was like, and I would get fussed at, well, why you there to come in? And I was like, oh, because we needed the help. We didn't need it, but I was trying to help you.
And she thought you were working against her.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, but it is what it is.
It makes me think about my days at the VA. You know, I had a hard time at the VA.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And I remember when my book first came out, When God is Silent, and, you know, I was selling my book at work. And you're not supposed to sell your stuff at work.
Right.
You know. But when I was selling Mary Kay at work, nobody cared. They were buying the makeup. You remember that?
I remember.
But when I had that book at work, somebody wrote me up and reported me to senior management and said I was soliciting on the government grounds.
Because the book was personal to you.
Oh yeah, it was personal to me. And then they also wrote me up and said that I was on TV on the clock. Because I had a couple of times where I was able to go to the news station and talk about, you know, my ministry and what God was doing. But these are the same people that was taking like 2-hour lunch breaks, but they reported me. And I was like, no, I was on leave. I was on my break. And I was threatened with 14 days no pay behind that.
Oh, wow.
And it's so crazy that I guess sometimes people can see where you're going because, you know, this was years and years before my ministry really blew up.
Yeah.
But people were already giving me a hard time even then. Or when I got that promotion on the job, oh my God, I was promoted to a clinical supervisor. And that was just the worst experience of my life. And one of the people in particular, what I later found out that was giving me such a hard time, she had also applied for the position, but I got it. And so it was like, she didn't feel like I was qualified, and I wasn't qualified. I wasn't. Yeah. She had more experience than me, but the Lord showed me favor, and I got the position.
You wasn't qualified on paper.
Exactly.
You wasn't qualified on paper.
Right. She had been in the field longer than me. I think I had been a nurse practitioner longer than her, but she had been in nursing longer than me, and she was older than me. And she really felt like, because she just gave me hell after that. Like, it was just a thorn in my side. But she never would, it was passive aggressive behavior. Like, she never came right out and said, you know, I don't think you should have gotten this position. But she just rejected and just rebutted everything that I did, every decision that I made. And I think sometimes that's how you know you're dealing with an undercover hater. They don't come right out and say, I don't like you, but they have a comeback for everything. They got a rebuttal for everything. They compare you to them or to other people all the time. And you're like, what's up with this? Because my mind is not even on that.
Indirect.
Yes.
Messages and things like
subliminal.
that.
Like, so you don't even realize sometimes that the people around you are actually the ones plotting against you because you're undercover. They're undercover. And I remember one time I was taking my son to therapy, and his dad was meeting me in the parking lot to go into therapy. And his phone conversation jumped into the Bluetooth on my vehicle. And at that time, unknown to me, there was some plotting and planning going on.
Right.
Unknown to me. And I heard a woman's voice say, that's fine. We'll just tell them she's never there. I didn't know what the heck that meant at the time.
Right.
But later I realized there was actually a plot by some female working with him against me to try to get full custody of my son. But the conversation jumped into my car, but I never repeated the conversation, so he never knew what I really heard.
Interception.
Yes, a divine interception. So later, when it all played out, I realized that's what that conversation really was about. Somebody was actually plotting with you to say that I was not present as a mother in an attempt, you know, to get custody of one of my children.
Wow.
So I'll never understand how another woman will plot with somebody else to like do something like that to you. But then I guess the flip side of that is there's two sides to every story.
Right.
And you don't know what the other, like in your situation at work, you don't know what one person is telling the other person. So they may have believed based on what this person was saying that I really wasn't present. I guess it depends on how much they knew me or knew of me. But sometimes people, and matter of fact, I'll say this now, I've learned that even people who don't necessarily like each other will come together just to fight you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. That is true.
So they will form an alliance. You ever just, like when one of our used to be friends partnered with the other one I was just talking about, and they formed an alliance on Facebook to drag me and you.
Yeah.
They weren't even tight like that. But they formed an alliance, which is the most foolish thing ever, to drag out this drama. And I just cannot believe that grown people do these types of things. This was years ago.
Yeah.
But they formed an alliance just to like try to take me down.
Sad.
And so what I've learned is people don't have to like each other, but they'll still come together just to fight you because they want to see you fall.
Yeah.
Just to see you fail, whatever. Yeah. And then you got the ones that show up who don't celebrate you for real. So let me ask you this. Because I've had some seasons in my life where I was really disappointed because people that I felt like should have been there were not there.
Yeah.
Like at my conferences and events and stuff like that. And they didn't show up. So what's your take on why is it, do you think, that if someone claims they're for you and they, should they show up? Like, what is that when you have something big, like a baby, since you had one at 45, or a wedding or anniversary celebration, or you finished, nurse practitioner school or something like that, and people who are around you don't celebrate you or don't show. What's your take on that?
The ones that need to show up, show up.
Oh.
So the ones that don't show up, particularly are the ones you're speaking of that aren't really your friends or not really a cheerleader for you.
Oh, not a cheerleader for me.
They might want to look on and see what you do, but they're not praying or being happy when it happens for you. A lot of times, a lot of people, or some people I say, are jealous of other people come up because they like, why is it not happening to me? Like, why does it seem like everything is going to her? I did this too, or I've been there too, or I know this as well. Why I don't get the opportunity? And they don't see the behind the scenes. They don't see the struggle that you have to go through to get to where you are. Like, I had a girl to mention you one day to me, and she was just concerned the fact of a pastor having so much. And she was like, well, yeah, God is a simple person. Oh, Jesus is what she said. She said, Jesus is simple. He lived a simple life, this, that, and the third. I said, so you're telling me that Jesus does not want his people to have things? I said, if we speak of Job and Job alone.
Come on, bestie.
Job had
a whole bunch of stuff.
A whole bunch of stuff. I was like, so if Jesus really wanted us to walk in a simple life,
that's good.
He wouldn't have blessed Job with so much, right? And I said, you don't understand the hours that I've seen this girl put in, praying all throughout the night, getting only a few hours of sleep a day. I was like, so it's okay for the ballers to get all the money.
Yep.
It's okay for the actors and actresses to get all the money.
Yep.
But a child of God can't get all the money.
Isn't that something? And did she call herself a Christian?
We agreed to disagree at that.
Was she like a Christian, supposedly?
I'm not sure of her religious beliefs because I never got into a deep combo with her on it. She's a sweet person. I love her to death. I just think she was just looking at the fact of Jesus was simple. And so she just felt like, or I don't know if she felt like, or if she was told, okay, you should live a simple life as Jesus did. But I don't think she went in depth with the fact that he wants us to have nice things, you know.
So what is your thoughts about that whole thing where when people look at what you have and feel like you shouldn't have it? Is that being a hater?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But Jesus, people say Jesus lived a simple life, but he really didn't for those times. So for whoever that was that didn't understand, let me just give a little spiel on that because you hear this all the time. Number one, Jesus had a treasurer. That's in John 12:6. Judas kept the money bag. So Jesus had a money bag. Okay. Jesus had a money bag. So that means he had regular financial resources. Because if you got the money bag and somebody kept the money bag, he actually had a treasurer. So, there was money. He had a money bag. If you have nothing to manage, you don't have a treasurer, number one. Number two, his clothes were quality. So quality clothes cost money. At the crucifixion, the soldiers did not want to tear his robe. It was woven in one piece from top to bottom. So that was expensive craftsmanship. So even at the crucifixion, he had on a high quality garment, so much so that they didn't want to tear his robe. All right. He was also hosted in very wealthy homes. For those who say we can't have nice things or drive nice things, right? This is just the signs of an undercover hater, somebody who speaks this way. So he was hosted in wealthy homes like Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. They had large enough homes to host guests.
Gatherings.
Yeah. And he also ministered in the home of Simon the leper and Nicodemus. Nicodemus was was he the tax collector? I think that was the kids. But anyway, Nicodemus, they had influence and means. And he received extravagant gifts. For people who say we shouldn't have extravagant gifts, the wise men brought him gold and frankincense and all these types of things. And he also traveled with provision. He had some women that actually financed his ministry, and people can go and read about that. And they were able to give to the poor. If you don't have money, you cannot give to the poor.
Right.
So when people look at what you have, so I've learned, right, that it really doesn't make any sense to be jealous of what somebody else has.
Yes.
Do you believe there's a portion for everybody? Do you believe that? Like, what's your thoughts on abundance or not abundance? Do you feel like if one person has it, do you feel like it's taken from somebody else? Like, how do you see that?
I don't think it's taken. I just think that person did certain things to get to where they are. And so, yes, in this lifetime, maybe I get there. In this lifetime, maybe I would not. But I think it's just the road you take.
That is so good. So you think it's a choice?
I think it's a choice. Now, do I believe that some people are dealt a very bad hand from start? Yes, I believe that too. I believe some people are born into a cycle of poverty that they have not figured out how to break that chain of poverty.
Yeah.
So, yes, some people are born into a very bad situation.
But then you hear these stories where people actually come out.
Yeah.
And it's always a choice.
It's always a choice.
Even if, for whatever reason, they were dealt a more difficult hand, there's still before you can ever come out, there's a decision. And I feel like people who despise you or whatever, I just feel like it's really misplaced adoration. Like they just haven't found their thing. So the time that they're spending
watching me or watching you,
they could be building their own.
They could be figuring it out for themselves.
So you have people who watch your every move, but they never clap. I've had that a lot. Like, oh, so you do watch me, you do pay attention, but you never say anything at all. You never support me at all. So in that situation, I've had people get on my comments and say, I'm unfollowing you.
Bye.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't want to see any more of this right here. Okay. but then they still be there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so why are you still following?
Why are you still watching?
So there's a difference between supporters and spectators.
Spectators, yes. Spectators.
And spectators are the ones who think they know you, but they would rather, I don't know, it's just frustrating. I'm not frustrated, but it's just interesting to me that people get upset with you for having, like it didn't cost you anything.
It's true.
It's just like you, all right, tell us about your journey with nursing, because you started off as an LPN, right?
Right.
All right, tell us about that journey.
Started out as an LPN. I worked at the state hospital.
That's where we
That was
met.
my first job as a nurse.
Mine too.
I loved it out there. We were like family.
It was
you
cool.
know?
It was easy too, wasn't it?
It was easy. And then I progressed to an RN. I still at state hospital.
How many years did you work out there?
I think it was like 10.
I did 6. No, I did 4.
Yeah.
I did 4.
I think it was like 10. From 2001.
We started in
like
01 together.
2009 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I did long-term acute care with the Regency Hospital. A lot of home health, nursing home type agency jobs. Used to do that a lot.
Girl, boy, that was some easy, good money back in the day.
Yeah. And then progressed on to psych and PACU and GI.
She's a real nurse.
And
I never did hospital or acute care.
yeah. So now I'm actually just doing home health type nursing. So.
Yeah. So, but the journey was hard, would you say?
The journey was hard, especially school. Like, oh my gosh, getting a master's degree, I wanted to just throw my whole brain away.
Yeah.
Because it was rough. Yeah. And especially, oh my God, especially research. Like, my hat goes off to every researcher is in this world.
Like how? How do they do this? Every scientist, every researcher. So I said all that to say, like the same way, you know, I've traveled this journey, this educational journey.
Yeah.
And then later on, you have people who hate on you because of what you became.
Yeah. They expected you to fail.
And then, or they don't want to, like, I guess it's just a disconnect. So they hate on you, but they won't do it themselves.
True.
So you go through it, and you went through it, I went through it, you know, because you don't get to this point without sacrifice, right? But then other people who don't have discipline, don't have sacrifice, don't have vision, they want to come in and actually sabotage. It's one thing for you not to support me. That's cool. But then I feel like there's another level when not only do you support me, but then you try to sabotage what I'm doing. Like years ago when you were in a situation where the person basically was trying to distract you from being able to pass your boards.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And like on the day of your boards.
Yes, picked an argument, picked a big fight with me. So I was off when I went to take boards. Couldn't think, was too stressed out to even...
What was the argument about? Do you remember?
Girl, no, something stupid, just to argue. Yeah.
And then you failed your boards.
I did. Yep. I couldn't process. My brain was gone at that point. I couldn't think because I was so mad. I was so angry at that point that I could not put it on pause when it was time for me to take my test.
And I distinctly remember when you went back to retake it, you didn't tell anybody.
I didn't tell anybody.
I think I knew.
You knew. I didn't tell anybody else.
Now, what do you think about the fact that when you're working on something important and how you had to not tell anybody, including the people you live with, the person you lived with, you cannot tell this person that you were doing something to make you better. What's up with that? When I can't safely share with you what I'm doing to make me better, which would make us better, but you're fighting against me instead of working with me.
So to even speak on that, before I even went to LPN school, I was still living in my hometown, Natchez. And I called one of my friends. I was like, girl, I got to get out of this place. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, da-da-da-da. And she was like, go to nursing school. And I was like,
What were you doing? Because you didn't go straight out.
No, I was doing college. So I was doing, like prereq classes and things like that.
Yeah.
But I hadn't gotten to a program. And I had everything I needed to be in nursing school.
What were you going to do at first?
Respiratory therapy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the friend was like, just go to nursing school. And I was like, okay. So at the last minute, I applied to Hines Prepare for nursing school, and I got in. So this particular guy, the first guy I married, I called him. I was like, yeah, I'm moving to Jackson.
So y'all were dating at this time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was like, I'm moving to Jackson. I'm going to nursing school. And he was like, why would you do something like that? Like, so in the beginning, there's always red flags. In the beginning, he was trying to stop me from going to nursing school. Because in his mind, if I became a nurse, that means I no longer needed him.
Oh, my God.
Would no longer want him. And I was going to strive to be with a doctor.
That would have been nice.
He didn't want me to. So he did not want me in nursing school from the
How long had y'all been talking at that point? Because y'all weren't married.
Honestly, maybe a year.
Okay.
Or something like that. Year and a half maybe. But yeah, he didn't want me to go to nursing school. So it started up with me even starting.
Girl, that is crazy. Yeah. So did he ever say, because you're going to end up being with a doctor, or you just feel like...
No, he said all of those things.
He said it to you?
He said those things. You're not going to need me anymore. You're not going to want me anymore. You're going to end up messing with one of those doctors or something. That type of situation. Yeah. He literally said those words to me.
So did that stay in the back of your head?
That I was going to mess with the doctor?
That would have been nice. No, the part about... Did he ever say you couldn't make it?
He never said I couldn't make it.
Mm-hmm. He knew you could make it.
He just didn't want me to do it.
Because you were going to not need him, and you were going to...
Yeah.
Well, the not need him part was correct, but we missed that doctor part, didn't we?
We did.
I mean...
We did.
So, like, what do you do when the person is, like, in your house or in close proximity to you, but they're not for you?
It gives you the attitude of not wanting to share your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, even your accomplishments with them.
Isn't that something? Mm-hmm. So they don't flat out say I'm against you or I'm a hater, but they say things and they do things to let you know that they're not for you.
They don't say, "Oh, that's great, babe. You know, I'm happy for you. Oh, you're going to do fine." Like, that's all I want to hear. You're going to do fine. I'm happy for you. You can do it. You don't have to say anything
Like,
else.
how hard is that?
How hard is that?
But see, the thing is, that's intimidation. Mm-hmm. That's insecurity. So you become a threat. Mm-hmm. When you... I just hate that because I've been through a lot of that. Mm-hmm. A lot of that. And I just feel like finally I'm in a place where I truly understand I don't have to be jealous of anybody or intimidated.
No competition.
Because there is no competition. I'm not in competition with anybody.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even in competition with myself. Because some people say you versus you. I don't even feel like I'm in competition with myself. I'm just giving myself the grace, finally, to evolve into what I need to be, according to what God said. Like, because, you know, and you do this too, we can be so critical of ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Body shaming.
Yeah.
You know, just holding ourselves to such a high standard, and there is a standard. There is a standard, but when does that thing become unhealthy? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when you feel like you're never enough, and then you got these people around you who don't support you. But you said something very powerful a few minutes ago. The ones who need to be there are there.
Yeah. And
you have to learn to be okay, because I would rather have lack of support than fake support.
Right. And even if you only have 2 people that's there, opposed to the 20 people that you thought was going to be there, 2 real people there that's really your cheerleader, opposed to the 20 fake, it's no comparison.
So I would rather have 1 real person or 2 real people than a whole bunch of people who are not really for me.
Exactly.
So I think the whole point of what we're talking about here, because just like you said, before you even went to nursing school, this person that you were dating and later married spoke against what you were going to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think to save people time, we need to stop normalizing and rationalizing what people do that shows us they're not really for us. And it's hard sometimes to accept, wait a minute, you're speaking like you're my opponent.
Yeah.
And what do you do when you've built a life with somebody that you later discover is your opponent? That's a mess.
That's a mess. That's a whole nother.
That's another episode.
That's another episode.
But that's a mess, because then how do you undo the foolishness? And it's like, okay, I share my life with the undercover hater. It's one thing for them to be out there and somebody riding up to my house and saying the other house around the street was bigger than yours. That's fine, whatever. But when you actually try to build a life with somebody who's competing against you,
you can't do it.
And throwing shade, in the end, it's just not going to work out.
It's not going to work out. It's just not. Because that means we're going in two different directions. Instead of us building together, we're tearing it down together.
Because as sure as I build it, you're pulling it back down.
Yeah.
And this can be done with words, with actions, gathering other people to also, people will actually gather troops to try to make you look a certain way. A painted picture, a lie, it can be a complete lie.
Yeah.
But these are just people who are literally just jealous of you or feel intimidated, or you're no longer making them feel like they're necessary.
Right.
And I think that goes for whether it's romantic or platonic or whatever. I just think that's a thing. And we don't need to dismiss it. If you're not speaking a language of support,
then just
go on. I don't want to talk to you.
Go about your business.
If you can't support me in my endeavors, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because even when I was in nursing school, at the time, the person I was with, he said I would never finish. I have a doctorate in nursing. But when I was struggling through nursing school, like straight struggling, my best friend at that time died in a car accident. Like I almost flunked out of nursing school.
Yeah.
But I vividly remember the person that I was with at that time saying, you will never become a nurse.
Just think of all the times that someone told you that you wasn't this and you wasn't that. What if you believed it? Where would you be today?
What if I had believed that nonsense?
Yeah.
So you have to listen to what people say. And anybody who's speaking that way towards you, that's not a conversation or an environment that you need to be in. If you cannot support me, and if you can't encourage me, and if you're going to tear down, there is nothing worse than a dream snatcher. Like you're excited, you're motivated, you're calling your friends or whoever, and you're saying, I just got this great idea. And the other person's like, oh, okay. It's like, well, okay, you're not even excited about something that I'm excited about. I feel like if I'm excited about it, if you really care about me, just because I'm excited about it, like, okay, for instance, I had no idea you were growing veggies in your backyard.
Yes.
Like, when did you start growing cayenne peppers? What else you got back there? Tomatoes?
Cherry tomatoes, bell peppers, and a lemon tree.
Like, when? And what else?
A lemon tree.
A lemon tree.
Yes.
But I didn't say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I think I said, go off, bestie.
Yeah.
Because my bestie is actually planting veggies, which I have never. When we were younger, my daddy, we had tomatoes and okra.
Oh, wow.
We used to have a little garden in the back.
Yeah.
But you were so excited about it. Like, why would I dismiss something that you're excited about, even if I don't see myself being able to do it, but it does seem pretty cool. But I just saw your excitement.
They're like my babies now. I check on them every day, like as soon as I get home from work.
I cannot believe this. And when did you start doing this?
So I got interested in it for two reasons. One, the healthcare that I work for, they eat very healthy, right? And some of the ladies in there have gardens and stuff, and they'll bring things that they're growing.
Nothing like a homegrown tomato.
Yeah. And then when I go back to Natchez to my mom's house, her husband and her have all types of stuff. Girl, yes. They growing watermelon, tomatoes, cucumbers, just all types of stuff. And I was like, you know what? I need to start growing things because, for one, I don't know what all they're putting in our food.
True.
And I was like, if the one thing I can change is maybe get some vegetables in my backyard.
That's so cool.
I was like, it's the coolest
thing. But it's so out of the box for you.
It is out of the box for me.
But
it's peaceful for me too.
There it is. Would you have ever imagined yourself doing that?
Heck no. I don't even like being out in the sun.
That sounds like
in the dirt, baby. No.
But I was like, I didn't say what. I said, yay.
But I have a lot of real plants that I'm growing in the house that I name and talk to. And and Dakota and I get into it every day because the plant that's my brother plant.
Yeah.
For some reason, she's drawn to that plant and she messes with that plant and don't mess with any of the rest of them.
Really?
Yeah.
So her brother Mark passed away. How many years has it been now?
He passed away in 2021.
Wow, it's been 4 years. Okay. Yeah, so you named a plant after him?
I did.
And the baby plays with the plant.
All the time. And it ignores me. Oh my God, it ignores me. All these other plants you can mess up. But please leave Mark. I call the plant Mark. Please leave Mark alone.
Oh my God. And that's the one she's always messing with.
Always messing with.
Wow. So I said all that to say, yes, that's out of the box for you, but we evolve. Yes. And I'm not who I was even 6 months ago. And as long as I see you happy, the people who are really for you, I feel like they'll celebrate what makes you happy, what brings you joy, because different things bring us joy.
Yes.
So to cut this off, I just want to say to you that if you are doing something that brings you joy, don't let somebody else's lack of support rob you of your joy. Or if you're around people who don't actually celebrate you, they don't show up, they speak against your dreams and your visions, those types of people who speak against, it's one thing to not show interest or whatever, but those who open their mouths and actually speak against what you're doing, you need to get rid of them quick, fast, and in a hurry. That's like number one priority.
Yeah.
And just be mindful, there are people who really are just undercover. They undercover legit don't like you. So always take time and evaluate the language of your circle and the language of people who have access to your ears. And if they are not encouraging you, you need to make the adjustment. That's it for now. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.